Hello everyone, my name is Fen Reeds and welcome to the March reading month. I didn't really post much this month. We're now entering finals in university, so I've been very busy working on university and just trying to keep on track with my marks. So for probably March and April, well, March is done now, but for the rest of April, I probably won't be posting as much. I also got a job, so I'm working a lot. Which is also the reason I haven't read nearly as much this month. I only read 5 books, and 3 of them were from the same series. So let's talk about what I read this month. So the first book I read this month was called Stars and the Blackness Between Them. It was by Juanda Petrus. It was a very sweet book about, it's a lesbian romance. It's about a lesbian who has been sent to America by her family from Trinidad because she was caught spending time with a woman, and another young lesbian lesbian or bisexual, I think. It's a woman romance, who has cancer. She has stomach cancer, and these two bond through their shared trauma and experiences. It's a very sweet book. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I struggle to read stories where someone has stomach issues. Stomach issues are a really big trigger for me. As you saw in my last video, I have a lot of chronic illness regarding stomach issues, and reading about that stuff can be very triggering for me. So I really had to take it slow with this book. I ended up rating it at a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. There were some parts of the language that were a bit hard for me to understand, and of course, as a non-person of color, that is probably why. I really respected the language in this book, and I did research while I was reading it to be able to fully understand everything that wanted to be communicated through this story, and I think it's a really important one to read. The second book I read this month was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I loved this book. It's on my favorite shelf now. I was expecting to hate it, and I was so pleasantly surprised when I loved it. So this book is about a girl named Jude who lives in the realm of the Fae. She was raised there after her parents were murdered by a Fae man, and she has lived there all her life. She's trying to raise up in the ranks to prove that a mortal can do what any Fae can do, and it was really, really good. So I read The Cruel Prince, and then after that I read The Wicked King, which I didn't like nearly as much as the first book. I only ended up rating it a 4 out of 5, where I rated the first book as a 5 out of 5 because it's on my favorite shelf and I freaking love it. I hated the ending of The Wicked King. I thought it was really stupid, and I thought it was really YA to end like that. So I just really hated it. It did not work for me. And then I read Queen of Nothing immediately after those 2 other books, which I also enjoyed, but again, not nearly as much as the first one. The first one had a very contemporary feel. It felt different than all other YA novels. When I think The Cruel Prince got popular, I think producers or someone stepped in and made changes, because the other 2 books just didn't have the same feel that the first one did. So I really enjoyed it, but I wish the magic in the first one would have stayed the same. The 5th and final book that I'm currently reading this month is Flamefall by Rosaria Munda. If you saw in, I think it was my last reading month thing, I read Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, and it was one of my favorite books, especially of this year. And this book is already really good. I have a couple issues with it so far, but it's still really good. I feel like I'm not gonna like it as much as the first one, but with some of the political stuff that's being introduced, I'm really enjoying that. It's basically following everything with Lee and Annie, following the end of Fireborn, which ended really strangely. So we're following Antigone as she tries to navigate this new world that she has to live through. And we're not following Lee nearly as much, and we have a new character named Griff, who I really like so far, and I find him really interesting. And there's hints at a male-male romance, which I would really love for a main character. So I'm really hoping we get to see that, and I'm really excited to see what happens in this series. So I actually have no clue which series I'm going to read next, because the Aurelian Cycle only has Flamefall, which was released literally 2 days ago. So unfortunately, I can't read the rest of that series yet because it's not out. So I don't really know what I'm gonna read after this. I think I might either start, I think it's Furyborn, or I might read The Shadow Between Us and all that stuff. Like, I'm on the fence. I feel like I'm going into a reading slump, which I would not like, so I'm really hoping I'm not. I am going to be working a lot in the next month. I've also got a lot of stuff coming up with apartment stuff. I've officially leased an apartment, and I will be moving sometime over the summer, which is really exciting, but also really terrifying at the same time. So I'm excited and I'm nervous, and there's going to be a lot of life changes. Another update, I spent a night in the hospital this week, which was not great. I ended up in the hospital due to suicidal ideation. I had a very dangerous episode, but I finally got a diagnosis for depression, which was really great. It's unfortunate that it took this long to get it, and I also got a diagnosis for ADD. So I do have attention deficit disorder, which I've known for a while, but I haven't had a psychiatrist properly diagnose me with it, but I have the diagnosis now, and I'm now on ADD medication, which is great, which will probably improve my reading focus. So I'm really hoping that I can like get in more books per month and like really like be immersed in the world. So yeah, that's what's going on with my life right now. The next couple months are going to be really hectic. April holds finals and exams. I start my new job. I'm hanging out with friends a lot. I'm trying to keep busy. Again, we don't have COVID really where I live, so we still have little restrictions on like seeing people. I don't see many people. I only see people in my bubble. And then May is also a busy month. I think I'm going to be hanging out with a lot of people that month too. I have a couple of friends who have birthdays that month. June is my birth month, which is really exciting. And it's also preparing for everything that's coming this summer, which is moving and dealing with all that stuff. So I have a busy couple months ahead of me. I'm really excited to make more videos for you guys. And I know this was a short reading month thing. I didn't really do much interesting. I read a series, which was cool. So yeah, if you have any book recommendations, I always appreciate them. So if you have any, leave them in the comments and I would love to read them. So thank you everyone so much for watching. I can't wait to see what happens in the future. Bye!